My name is Maria. I am 26 years old. I live in Germany. I want to tell you about one special night. It is New Year's Eve in Germany. France and Italy, New Year's Eve is always on December 31st. People wait for this night with great excitement. It is not just another evening. It is the last day of the year. Every year, my family makes plans for this night. We call relatives. We invite friends. We clean the house. We also buy food from the market. The shops are always full on December 31st. Everyone wants to prepare something nice. People buy meat, bread, vegetables, drinks, and sweet cakes. The air feels full of joy. When I was a child, I loved this day. My parents were always busy, but they also smiled more. They laughed when they cooked. They listened to music while they set the table. The kitchen smelled good. Sometimes it smelled like goose. Sometimes it smelled like carp. One year it was only hot dogs and potato salad, but every time it felt special. On the morning of December 31st, my mother always cooked something simple. First, she wanted us to eat lunch early. Because the real meal was for the evening, she often told me, "Save your hunger for tonight." I remember sitting at the small table with my brother. We looked at the clock. We waited for midnight. It always felt so far away. The afternoon hours were slow. We watched television. There were always special shows. Some were music concerts, some were funny programs. Children liked cartoons. But everyone knew that the real fun was later. My father usually went outside to meet our neighbors. He talked with them about fireworks. Some people bought small ones. Others bought big ones. Everyone wanted to light them at midnight. As the evening came, the house grew warmer. More people arrived. My uncle came with his family. He brought cheese and bread. My aunt brought salad and wine. My cousin came with a cake. Soon the table was full of food. There was no space left. The living room smelled of roasted meat. I still remember the taste of goose with potatoes. It was salty and soft. When the meal started, the adults sat together. They raised their glasses and said Happy New Year, but it was not midnight yet. They just wanted to start the night with a smile. I sat with my brother and cousin. We talked about what we wanted to do in the new year. I wanted to travel to France. My cousin wanted to study in Italy. My brother wanted to buy a new bicycle. The hours went slowly, but we were never bored. We played games. We told stories. Some people danced. Others just ate. And ate. My uncle liked to sing. His voice was loud. Everyone laughed. The children sometimes ran outside to look at the sky. Some people already started small fireworks before midnight. The sound was loud, but it made us happy. When the clock showed 11, we all became excited. The last hour of the year always felt special. The adults poured more drinks. The children ate chocolate. We watched the clock on television. There was a live show in Berlin. Thousands of people stood outside near the big gate. They sang and shouted. We felt like we were there with them. Finally, the last 10 minutes came. We all counted down. 10 minutes. 9 minutes. 8 minutes. Our voices grew louder. Everyone was smiling. Some people held hands. Others held glasses. My heart felt warm. I looked at my family. I felt safe. When the last minute started, the television showed a big clock. Everyone shouted together, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, we. Then the fireworks started. The sky outside turned red and gold. The sound was like thunder. We opened the windows. We saw the bright lights in the sky. Some people ran outside with sparklers. The street was full of smoke, but it smelled sweet. At midnight, everyone said the same words. Happy New Year. We hugged each other. We kissed on the cheek. My aunt cried a little. My cousin laughed. My brother shouted, "This year will be the best." The feeling was so strong. It was not just another night. It was the start of something new. After midnight, the noise outside was very loud. The neighbors set off big fireworks. Some lasted for many minutes. The sky was never dark. We stood outside with scarves and gloves. It was cold, but we did not care. We smiled at strangers on the street. Everyone said Happy New Year. Even if they did not know each other, it was like one big family. Back inside, the food was still waiting. People were hungry again. They ate more cake. They drank hot tea. Some wanted beer or wine. The children drank juice. The music played again. Some people danced in the living room. Others sat and talked about the past year. I remember one year when my grandmother was still alive. She sat in her chair and looked at us. She was old and tired, but her face was bright. She told me, every new year is a gift. Enjoy it. I never forgot those words. They are still in my mind each December 31st. In France and Italy, it is also the same. Families come together. They eat a big meal. In France, people often eat oysters or duck. In Italy, people eat lentils for luck. I did not grow up there, but I heard these stories from friends. We all share the same idea: food, family, and fireworks. When the night became late, some people left, others stayed until morning. My brother often fell asleep on the sofa. My uncle always sang one more song. My aunt always packed some food to take home. It was past 2 in the morning when the house became quiet. The next day, January 1st, no one worked. It was a holiday. We slept late. We woke up slowly. My mother made soup. My father read the newspaper. We talked about the night. We laughed again when we remembered the songs and fireworks. The house was calm, but my heart still felt happy. This is how I remember New Year's Eve in Europe. It is not just about food or lights. It is about family and friends. It is about saying goodbye to the old year and hello to the new one. It is a night when everyone feels close. And every year I wait for it with the same joy. Before I continue my story, please subscribe, share, and tell me where you are listening from. Your support means a lot to me. Now let's continue. Even though my memories of Germany are strong, I also remember how people in France and Italy celebrate the same night. Each country has its own food and its own small traditions, but the feeling is always the same. It is the feeling of being together, of waiting for midnight, and of hoping for a better year. France was the first country where I spent New Year's Eve outside Germany. I stayed with a friend near Paris. Her family welcomed me kindly. They said, "You are part of our family tonight." I smiled and felt at home. The house was bright with candles and small lights. On the big table, there were many plates. The meal looked special. In France, the food is very important. That night, we ate oysters, duck, and potatoes. I had never eaten oysters before. They were cold and soft, and you put lemon juice on them. Everyone said they were delicious. I was not sure, but I tried them and smiled. The duck was roasted and golden. The smell was strong, but the taste was rich. There was also bread and many kinds of cheese. Each plate looked like a gift. The family talked a lot during dinner. They spoke about the old year. They spoke about their hopes for the new year. Some wanted good health. Some wanted success. In work, some wanted more time with family. Everyone shared their thoughts while they ate. It felt warm and close. When the clock moved near midnight, the family grew more excited. They turned on the television. A big crowd was waiting. In Paris, the lights of the city were shining. When the last seconds came, everyone counted together. 10, 9, 8. The sound grew louder. At midnight, fireworks filled the sky. We opened the windows. The air was cold, but the colors were bright. The family hugged and kissed on the cheek. They said Bonane, which means Happy New Year. Some laughed, some cried, but all were happy. I looked at their faces and felt the same joy I felt in Germany. It did not matter that the words were different. The feeling was the same. After midnight, the family served dessert. There was a chocolate cake and small sweet pastries. They also drank champagne. I drank juice and it was enough. The children danced to music. The adults sang. I felt lucky to be there. The next day, January 1st, was quiet in France, just like in Germany. The shops were closed. The streets were calm. People stayed at home with family. We ate a simple lunch of soup and bread. Then we walked a little outside. The air was fresh and the streets were almost empty. I understood that the first day of the year was a time for rest and peace. A few years later, I also spent New Year's Eve in Italy. That night was full of life and color. I stayed with a friend in Rome. The city was full of people. The streets had music and lights. People walked together, smiling and talking. The air felt like a festival. In Italy, there is one special food for the night. It is lentils with sausage. The family cooked a big pot of lentils. They told me lentils bring luck and money. The small round shape looks like coins. The sausage was heavy and tasty. Together, the food was warm and full of flavor. They said, eat many lentils and you will have a good year. I ate a lot because I wanted luck too. The table also had pasta, cheese, and bread. The family ate slowly and with joy. They spoke in Italian and I did not understand every word, but I understood their smiles and their laughter. I felt the love in the room. When midnight came, the whole city seemed to shout. People counted together and then fireworks began. The sky turned red, green, and gold. The lights also reflected in the river. It was like two skis, one above and one below. People hugged and kissed. They shouted Felice Annovo, which means Happy New Year. There was also one funny tradition. People threw old things out of their windows. I saw shoes, clothes, and even small pots fall into the street. The family told me it means throwing away bad luck and making space for good luck. At first, I was surprised. Then I laughed with them. It was strange, but also beautiful. It showed that people wanted to start fresh. After midnight, we stayed inside with the family. The grandmother gave me a red scarf. She said red is a lucky color. For the new year, I felt happy and thankful. We sang songs and ate more cake. The children danced and the adults clapped. The house was full of sound and joy. The next morning was quiet, just like in Germany and France. The shops were closed. People stayed at home. We ate a simple meal of pasta and bread. The children spoke about the fireworks. The adults laughed about the things people threw from the windows. The whole family looked happy. When I Think about Germany, France, and Italy. I see many differences in food and traditions, but I also see the same heart. Everywhere people come together on December 31st. Everywhere they eat, talk, and wait for midnight. Everywhere they hope for a better year. That is what connects us. It does not matter if it is goose, oysters, or lentils. It does not matter if you say Happy New Year, Bonin or Felicino. No, the real meaning is the same. It is the joy of being together. It is the wish for a good future. It is the smile of family and friends. Every time I celebrate New Year's Eve in Europe, I feel the same joy. The food may change. The language may change. The songs may change. But the love and hope do not change. That is why the night feels so special. No matter where you are, now I am older. And I still wait for New Year's Eve each year with the same joy, but as an adult, the night feels a little different. When I was a child, I only cared about fireworks and sweets. I wanted to stay awake until midnight, and I felt proud when I did not fall asleep. Today I think less about the noise and more about the people around me. I still live in Germany, but my family is smaller now. My brother has his own home, and my cousins live in other cities. Sometimes we cannot all meet on December 31st, but we always call each other and we always say Happy New Year on the phone. Even if we are far away, the night makes us feel close. Most years, I celebrate with my parents. We prepare a simple meal. Sometimes it is goose, sometimes it is carp, and sometimes it is just hot dogs with potato salad. It does not matter what is on the table. What matters is that we eat together. The food is warm, the room is bright, and the feeling is strong. At midnight, we always watch the fireworks. Some years we buy small ones. Other years, we just go outside and watch the sky. The lights are never the same. Sometimes they are red, sometimes gold, sometimes green. But they always make me smile. The colors above remind me that life is full of surprises. I also remember the times in France and Italy. I think about the oysters, the lentils, and the red scarf. I think about the laughter in those houses, the hugs and the songs. These memories show me something important. They show me that Europe is full of different people, but we share the same heart. On New Year's Eve, the differences do not matter. The love is the same. Sometimes I also join friends. When I go to their homes, I see how each family has their own way. Some like to play games until midnight. Some like to dance. Some just sit and talk. Some drink champagne and others drink tea. But always at midnight, we all stand together and count the last seconds. That moment is always powerful. It feels like the whole world is waiting. At the same time, one year I was in a big city for New Year's Eve. I went to the square with many other people. There were concerts, music, and bright lights. When midnight came, the crowd shouted. Together, fireworks exploded above the tall buildings. I did not know the people next to me, but they smiled at me. We all hugged and said, Happy New Year. It felt like one big family. The next morning is always quiet. January 1st is a holiday in many countries. The streets are empty, shops are closed. The world feels like it is sleeping. Some people sleep late, others eat breakfast slowly. Families sit together and talk about the night. The calm after the noise feels soft and peaceful. On January 2nd, life begins again. People go back to work, children go back to school. But the memory of the night stays. It gives us hope and energy for the year. It reminds us that even in cold winter, there can be warmth in our homes and in our hearts. As I grow older, I understand more about why this night matters. It is not only about the food, the drinks, or the lights. It is about saying goodbye and hello at the same time. It is about closing one door and opening another. It is about looking back with respect and looking forward with hope. When I see families in Germany, France, and Italy, I see the same picture. People gather in warm houses, they share food. They laugh and sing, they wait for midnight, and when the fireworks begin, they all feel the same joy. It does not matter which city, which country, or which language, the moment is the same. I think this is why New Year's Eve is special in Europe. It is not only a holiday, it is a symbol. It is the one night when millions of people stand together in spirit. They may not know each other, but they share the same wish to have a better year. Now, when I stand outside and watch the fireworks, I feel this connection. I think about people in Berlin, Paris, and Rome. I imagine them standing outside, too, watching the sky, hugging their families and saying their wishes. Even if we are far, we are close in that moment. I believe New Year's Eve will always stay in my heart. Each year may look different. Some years I celebrate with many people, some years with only a few. Some years we eat rich meals, some years simple ones. Some years I am in Germany, some years in another country. But always the feeling is the same. It is the feeling of love, of family, of friendship, and of hope. It is the moment when we all stop and think, this is a new start. That feeling is what makes New Year's Eve so beautiful. And that is why every December 31st, I still wait with the same joy as when I was a child. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope you enjoyed learning how we celebrate New Year's Eve in Europe. Remember, this night is not only about food or fireworks, it is about family, friends, and hope for the future. I wish you a very happy new year. Wherever you are, stay safe, stay strong, and keep learning English with